Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Dr. Cindy Stark doing my Tuesdays at 10 talks every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. Excuse me, 10 a.m. Eastern. I don't know why I keep saying Central. But I am actually in my doctor's gear today. They are putting a new roof on my house. And so I do not have access to my little home office in my house. So I'm here in a CPR room at the hospital, and they just finished infant CPR. So hopefully we will not have to. I have a little live baby over. Not live. A little. I gotta show y'all this. Hold on a second. It's just because it's funny. I do not know why they have these little babies, but here's a little baby right here. We just did infant CPR, and then there's one, and I don't know why, but he has a blue body. So I guess it's for underwater CPR or mermaid CPR. I don't know. But anyway, welcome all you guys that are coming in here. Just hit a hashtag live. Let me know that you're here live. And then anybody that comes in here after this one's over, please just give me a hashtag replay so I know who you are and where you're coming from. But anyway, again, it's Dr. Cindy Stark. I'm here in Reclaim Your Life and Health. And I come in here every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and tell you guys a little bit. I'm stacking lectures and learnings on top of each other so that I can help teach you guys how your brain works. Because if you don't understand how your brain works, you don't get true healing. Hey, Tammy. She and I went to high school together. Anyway, so what we're talking about today is states of healing, all right? And I hope that you guys can see all this behind me. Hey, Jenny, live from Melbourne, Florida. She's one of my clients, and you guys can see that, right? I mean, I have set up this in a way where I can get really close to it and write some. Hey, Deanne, write some notes as I'm going here. So what I'm going to be talking to y'all today about is state of healing, and I want you guys to know, again, these talks are stacking on top of each other. If you haven't watched them from the beginning, I have some under announcements, the very first ones that I did, and I'm going to start putting those into groups so you can know which ones to watch when. But I want y'all to just set your hey, Michelle, she's coming live from Maysville, Georgia. That's a gorgeous part of Georgia with farms on both sides of the road. It's not just everywhere that you get to see farms on both sides of the road. But I do want you to set your alarm so you know when I'm coming in here so you catch the whole talks. And then invite your friends. If this resonates with you and if it helps you in any way, shape, or form, good morning, Pat. I want you guys to please invite your friends into this group. This is probably going to be a little bit of a shorter talk today. I just don't know what else the nurses are going to be using this room for, and so I'm feeling a little under the gun. And so we're going to get through as much as we can get through. But I want you guys to know that what my talks have been on in the past, hey Maurice, is what trauma is, and then how we store emotions, and how we make belief systems, and what they do for us. And I want you to know that an influence is when we encounter a person, a place, or a thing, and then we have a strong emotion attached with it. That actually creates a belief system. So an influence plus an emotion creates a belief system. And unfortunately, I mean, it's the way that God designed our bodies and our brain, and the brain was the very first thing that ever got developed as embryos, okay? So it's what runs the entire show of our body. And I always tell people, please meet me. Don't meet me when I'm wearing these clothes right here, because if you meet me when I'm wearing these clothes right here and I have this doctor's coat on and I have the stethoscope around my neck, it is too late. The things that have wreaked havoc and created all this damage in your body to finally meet me in the hospital setting way down here, once you're 4 decades in, 7 decades into trauma and damage that have been done, the only thing we can do is just kind of like damage control. The way to really affect change in your health is to come way down here, way at the very beginning. And most of the people that are in my group, we have had like 20 or 30 years worth of talk therapy and different doctors and different medications that can't help us with our anxiety and our depression. Some people are come to me because they are tired of chronic pain and even diabetes and thyroid problems, and healing the stuff that we're going to talk about today. The emotions and the belief system actually heal our physical body, because all this trauma and this emotional trauma, it's stored in our body at a cellular level, and it affects how everything runs in our entire body. Okay. Oh, hey, Allie, that's fine. All right, I'll be back. I'll see you tomorrow. And if you can listen to this whole talk now, great. But if the cell cuts out, that's fine too, Allie. Anyway, so again, when we encounter a person, place, or thing, and then we have a strong emotion about it, it creates a belief system, and then that belief system, that becomes a filter by which we view the entire world. Okay, we think what happens is that we just see everything as it comes, and everything is an accurate representation. We are able to see and process every single thing that comes our way, but it's not. It actually gets filtered through this this reticular activating system, and it's made up of all of our beliefs that we've had in our experience, our unique experience of the world. And when we do get true healing and we clean out that reticular activating system, it affects not only our ability to regulate emotions, but it also affects our ability to run our body the way that it's meant to run. Okay, our brain literally sends signals to every single organ and gland all in our body, and it can help us not only regulate our blood pressure and our cholesterol, but it also helps which the have an adequate blood supply to our organs makes us not have heart attacks and strokes, but it also affects the way that we release different neurochemicals and very important things like insulin and cortisol and norepinephrine and epinephrine and all those things. Okay, so when we are able to get our body running in tip-top shape by getting our brain doing what it's supposed to do, then everything in our life, it just becomes effortless. So this is what we think happens. Okay, we think what happens is that we bring every single thing in from the world right into our eyes. Okay, and we think that it gets presented to the thinking brain, and then it goes into the unconscious mind, stored as a memory, and then anytime we want to call on that memory, it's right there for us in a pure representation of reality. But this is actually not what happens. Okay, what happens is when the world, you can't see these little marks I'm making, when the world and every person that you want to date and every job opportunity comes your way and every school that you want to get, I'm thinking about college right now because my kids are in college, and my son he just turned in his college application last week. If he doesn't think that certain things are a possibility for him, he literally cannot see, and I'm going to tell you why this happens. He literally cannot see what is coming into his eyes. I don't know how many universities there are in this country, but let's just say he only thought 2 or 3 where he was able to get into. Then his brain would only see those 2 or 3, and not all 2,000 or whatever, because of the following thing. So this is what really happens. When things come into our eyes, it actually bypasses the thinking brain. And before it gets presented to our unconscious mind to be stored as a memory, before that, there's this thing right here called your reticular activating system. And you can call it a RAS for short. But that reticular activating system is the gatekeeper. Okay, so just imagine, here's your eyes, everything coming in to your brain, in your body. Here's your memory. This right here is the gatekeeper, your reticular activating system. It is made up of every single belief system that you've ever had. So every unique person, place, or thing that's ever had a strong emotional hold in your body. So the person, place, or thing combined with a strong emotion, that turns into a belief system that's housed in this reticular activating system. And it's also any kind of programming, religious programming, societal programming, academic programming, your friends or your community or the city that you lived in, your family programming, anything like that, any terrible jobs that you've had that made you think a certain thing about yourself. And what happens is it gets stored in this reticular activating system, and it creates a filter. And I wish I had I'm trying to pray about it every night so I can come up with a better way to draw this, because I have a way that it makes sense to me. But let's just imagine that this is like a filter. You know, when you like drain water out of spaghetti, and it has those certain, holes, and you can have different sieves that are at different holes. Well, just imagine that's a filtering system. So unless your specific belief systems that created these holes, unless everything lines up over here with what specifically is getting filtered through, it never makes it into your unconscious mind. And then when it actually, so this still, at this point, we still don't even have our thinking brain activated or engaged at all. So only after it goes through all that filtering system. And so literally you are not seeing any job opportunity unless it matches up your unique sieve. Just imagine it's blocking everything out that doesn't match with your unique system. So for me, unfortunately, in my life, I thought that, this was, thank goodness I've dealt with this a really, really long time ago, but I thought that I was unlovable. I thought I was unworthy of protection. I thought I'm not good enough. I thought my family is poor. We come from a family of electricians and hairdressers. There's not a ton of money, and I thought that I was poor because that is what I came from. And I was one generation away from the Great Depression, right? And growing up in the farm. But because I was able to create my own, get rid of all that gunk, and realize that no, I go to college. This is my life. I go to college, and then I also go to get a doctorate degree, and I take care of people for a living. I've gotten rid of those societal programmings and those parental programmings that were just there to again, to keep us safe, and because that's how I was brought up. But until you clear this out right here, this is running your show, the show of your life, this reticular activating system. So if it meets with those filters, and then and only then will it get stored in your unconscious as a memory. And then when you need it, then your thinking brain, it's still at this point, the thinking brain hasn't even gotten involved with, but then it'll come right back here and then present it to your eyes, and that's going to be called reality, but it's really just a figment of your imagination. So if you do not believe it's possible, your eyes will not even see it. I hope that makes sense. And it's all because of this gatekeeper right here, known as the reticular activating system. And this is what my program, I run the Soul Circle Academy, and my program is a 12-week transformational health program. And we not only transform your emotions and your relationships, we also transform your health, your immune system, your sleep, your energy system, everything, adventure, joy, by one thing and one thing only. There's only one thing that lets you have your utter epitome of like your dream of your health and your relationships and your jobs, and that's by clearing out your reticular activating system. If, again, all the people and opportunities that come over here into your eyes will never get processed as being real in reality unless it goes through this filtering system. And the longer that we live, we gunk up our reticular activating system more and more. I see people here at the hospital, and a lot of them are in their 70s. A lot of them are in their 80s and 90s. I swear sometimes I think I'm a pediatrician when I get to take care of people that are 40 years old, because I'm like, oh wow, you're 40, you're so young. But the more that we go in life, the more that we live, there are certain cells, if you don't get to them soon enough, they're stuck in something called the G0 phase or G0, and it's like in cell division. I just spent all last night in my daughter's college library helping explain this to her. Nerve cells do not regenerate. Heart cells do not regenerate. Other cells, like our skin cells, we're getting new skin cells every 2 weeks. Our red blood cells, we're getting new red blood cells every 90 days. Our liver regenerates. But there's certain cells, and I find it very interesting that they're in your heart and in your brain. They don't replicate. What you are born with is what you get to keep for the rest of your life. So if you have a heart attack or a stroke, that's why stroke leaves people, permanently paralyzed, right, on half of their body, or unable to speak. And a heart attack leaves people sometimes permanently with congestive heart failure, because you can't get that contractility back in your heart. And this, I think, guys, without getting too emotional or too esoteric about it, once I had been a doctor for about 20 years, I'm sorry, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. And I kept seeing that there were so many people here in this place, this beautiful place known as a hospital. This is not a place of healing. It's a place for, damage control is the only way I can really think about it. A lot of people die here. And when I got about 20 years of this practice of medicine behind me, I realized we are not making people healthy at all. All the damage was done earlier in life, and it is the things that we're doing for people once they get to this stage of the game where they're here, it's just damage control. It's just prolonging suffering. It's just, let me give you a few, thousands and thousands of dollars of medicines that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. If you want to keep your lungs healthy, or if you want to, there's nothing you can do. Like I said, for a heart attack or a stroke, there's just nothing you can do for it. The damage is done. Once it's done, it's because some cells you'll just never come back. So anyway, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but I'm just saying the reason that I went into this, I was on this quest for healing, and it wasn't just of my personal healing. I'm lucky. I don't have any physical illnesses at this point in my life. I'm 52 years old. I just had a birthday a couple of days ago. I don't have any health problems. But what I had was relationship problems and emotional problems. I was just always anxious, always trying to control things. And now, because I finally found the one and only healing modality that no one talks about, I think there's only 15 people in the country that are certified to actually help people, usher them through and actually get healing from clearing out this junk in the gunk in your filters, as Deanne likes to call it, is the reason that I was on a quest, and I think that God led me to it, is because it's the one and only thing that actually causes healing. And again, not just in emotions and in relationships, but also your physical health. Because again, if you think that you're from a family where everybody gets obese and everybody gets diabetes and everybody gets dementia and everybody gets Parkinson's, you live your whole life just waiting for that to happen. And that's just, there's freedom on the other side of getting your RAS cleared out. So anyway, again, hey Donna, thank you for catching me live, girlfriend. It's so good to have you here. So again, your reticular activating system is made up of filtering systems that are not only your influences, which is a person, place, or a thing, but also all your emotions and all your beliefs. And this reticular activating system / unconscious mind runs 96% of the show. In our thinking brain, this runs 4% of the show, and this is 96% of the show. All right? So you can spend all your life in the 4%, trying to effort yourself to death and will yourself to death, but you're not getting a true state of healing. Once you get a hold of how to clean up this 96%, then you have the true state of healing, okay? So I'm gonna go on to Gestalt now. So how I think about what is made up in the unconscious mind, it's a storing system of all of our emotions, all right? So here's Gestalt. I've represented it in a bag. I'm not a good artist, so forgive me. But, and there's a lot of emotions that are stored here, and each emotion has a different place that it's stored in the unconscious mind, okay? So let's just say anger. Let's just say when you were 3 years old, I'm just using examples from my own life, okay? Your brother was strolling you in the stroller, and he let go of the stroller and thought it would be really funny to watch you roll down the hill. That pissed me off. I have a scar still to this day on my hand from where I got hit because I fell out of the stroller. Thank you, David. And so my gestalt of anger started filling up. I don't think I really got mad about anything before I was about 2 or 3 years old when that happened. And then when I was 8, I got really mad because, hey Brenda, oh goodness, y'all are just gonna have to listen to all the overhead announcements from the hospital. But then when I was about 8 years old, I got really mad because I didn't do good on the test and I kept getting in trouble in conduct. So my anger gestalt filled up a little bit more. Well, then by the time I started having boyfriends and doing me wrong when I was like 14 and I had a bad reputation, my gestalts were filling up even more. And then by the time I was 33 and I had a baby and my husband wasn't helping me the way I wanted him to help me, boy, my gestalts were completely filling up. And when they fill completely up, what happens is they spill out into the top negative emotion of each one of your major core emotions. These are healthy emotions right here. Emotions tell us something about our body that we need to know. But when the gestalt of that emotion fills up and spills over, then anger turns into rage. And I started doing some terrible things when I was in rage. And what happens when your gestalt fills up? You either go back to the age where you it first started bothering you. So again, that little 3-year-old Cindy getting spilled out of the stroller, and I literally acted like a 3-year-old, and I started just wreaking havoc and just causing damage to everyone around me that meant the most to me. Okay, so either that will happen, or the other thing that will happen is you get sick. And who has been sick over and over again? I know I used to get strep throat twice a year, every single year for about 3 decades of my life. It was ridiculous until I got all these gestalts emptied. But anyway, the top emotion for sadness, it turns into depression. How many of you guys, you don't have to answer, I'm just giving a rhetorical question, but how many of y'all suffer from depression? And again, doctors with these white coats and these prescription pads, when you come to them with depression and fear turns into anxiety. All right, fear and anxiety and depression are two of the things that us doctors see people in the outpatient clinic most for. And when we see y'all, the only thing that we know how to do as doctors is just regulate the appearance or the manifestation of the depression and anxiety. So we'll just we will give you medicine to numb you out, and they'll all have side effects, and you'll be on them probably for the rest of your life until you learn how to get rid of this. Empty these gestalt bags so you can actually regulate your emotions, and guilt turns into shame. Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is you might think that it's so funny to me. I see people in the hospital setting, and they'll bring in their bags of prescriptions, and they'll have anywhere between 7 and 40 pills in a bag, and I say, okay, well, I'm here to take care of your blood pressure. And they said, I don't have blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure. And I said, yeah, you do. And they said, no, I don't. I'm on medicine now, and it is regulated. And I just don't know. And if everybody here in my Facebook group can be the first people to know this, I just don't think this message gets out into the public service, as a public service announcement. You still have high blood pressure. You are controlled on medications, but you still have high blood pressure. Your body is, every day you wake up and you have the high blood pressure, and then you just drop those medicines on and it just brings it down. But it's that process that started it, it's still there. It didn't do anything to make it go away. All it does is give you a better reading. Drop those pills in and do it every 6 hours, do it every 8 hours, do it every 24 hours, because the numbers won't look good anymore if you don't keep taking it. Same thing with Paxil and Wellbutrin and Lexapro. That's just changing the neurochemicals way downstream of the initiating event that caused all the anxiety and depression in the first place. So I hope that makes sense. What we have when we have full gestalts is what we do when we have full gestalts is that we just dump and bleed our trauma onto everyone around us. And again, for me and most of us, we dump and bleed it onto the people that we love the most. And I know for one, I got so sick and tired of wreaking as much havoc. I feel like I didn't just wreak it on my family. I wreaked it on myself too by the screwed up things that we do, trying to regulate our emotions. And the only way to regulate it, again, is to decrease and lower the gestalt so that you can go up and you can go down. But when you're just always spilling over, who in the world wants to live over here with rage and depression and anxiety and shame, acting like a 2-year-old all the time? So again, if you guys are in a state where you feel like you are overwhelmed, or your whole entire brain and body and life is being ran by these really negative emotions, please book a call with me or someone on my team, and let's see if you are ready for true healing. Because I'm here to tell you, I no longer think that I am unlovable. I no longer think that I'm unworthy. In fact, I just 5 weeks ago left a 22-year-long relationship with my marital partner, because I was finally able to realize my gestalts were finally empty, and I could see and my RAS was finally cleared out. And I'm like, you know what? I am worthy of more than this, and I am lovable, and I am good enough. And I was able to once and for all fight for myself instead of just living my life based on someone else's belief systems, because that's what we all do. When we're not able to run our life based on what's innate in us that God gave us, then we are literally running our lives based on someone else's belief systems. And once you get your reticular activating system cleared out and you're able to live your life the way that God wants you to live it, then you are, yeah, Jenny's off of all of her blood pressure medicines and her anxiety medicines just by getting her reticular activating system cleared out. And she's not even all the way through with the program. She still has to clear her belief systems. But when you clear out those and you're able to live your life once and for all for the way that you want to live your life, the way that God intended for you to live your life, guess what happens? That's why I'm here bringing this container and this space to you guys. Because once you clear out your subconscious mind and you're able to just kind of like be a conduit of the divine, then you're able to live your life as God intended, and you're able to heal. I mean, my job was to heal the people of the world. I knew that from a really early age, but unfortunately I was only able to do it just based on medicines and surgeries up to this point. But now I'm able to bring true healing because I was able to see it for the first time once and for all after 30 years of being in school and practicing medicine. So again, I want you to know that you will get back self-trust. You'll be able to regulate. You won't be in overwhelm where you're like fight or flight all the time, freeze or faint. You will be able just to be in a state of ease, and you'll be able to be the you that you really were meant to be, so that you can live out all the dreams that you have in the world. And again, when you come into my program, the first thing I need you to do, if this interests you, and if it doesn't interest you to get this kind of healing, and you want to just keep doing it piecemeal, and you're just trying to learn a little bit, then that's great. There's no shame. Every single one of us comes to this in a different place. But once you're at the state of, I call it the continuum, and once you're at the point on the continuum where you're just really ready to stop hating yourself every morning, and stop being run by childhood trauma, and stop messing up and causing relationship problems and everybody that means the most to you, and you want fulfillment in your job and again in your relationships, then you can book a call with us. What I would rather you do first is go to my website, therealdrcindy.com, and watch this 30-minute video I have that just kind of gives you an overview of the program, see what you're getting into. I always say it's not easy and it's not cheap, it's not inexpensive, but living your life the way that you're living your life right now is also not easy, and it's not inexpensive, because there's so many missed job opportunities that you're not seeing. There's so much fulfillment in your relationships that you're not seeing. There's trips that you could be going on, making memories of a lifetime. There's courses that you could be taking that you're not even seeing half the stuff that's in the courses, because it's not matching up with this filter of probably I'm not worthy, or I'm unlovable. And once we heal the whole reticular activating system, once you go to my website, watch that 30-minute video, and then if after you watch that you think this is for me, and you say, I'm ready for a change, then book a call with us. I'm still taking all the calls right now, so you'll be speaking to me. We'll just be talking one-on-one and see if you're ready for this, and then you'll get assigned a coach, and we will go through it together and hold your hands, and it'll be the best 12 weeks of your life. It's just 12 weeks of intense work, and then you will be out a new person. And that's right, Brenda, we are invisible. Women rule and men rule too, but together, unless we come together and we see just all the blessings that God has in store for us, I know I always come back to this one phrase, but I just feel like we're just like cut off at the knees. We're not living our life to a 100th of our potential. And I want you to know that once you go through this program, you don't have to keep paying people to have like talk therapy and get what other people think that they want in your life. You have the self-trust, so you know that you're getting what you want in your life, and you're doing it in a way that is completely aligned with God's wishes for you. So it'll be my pleasure and honor to talk to you guys. I'll drop the link to my website and the link below to my hey Shauna, is it Shana or Shauna? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I love your name, and I think you're friends with my cousin, and so thank you for being here too. it was my pleasure and honor to be here to talk to you guys this morning. I'll be coming in here every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern, and it would be my pleasure and honor to talk to you on the phone too, and just see if you're ready. If you're not, it's fine. I have lots of resources and lots of people you can see to help further you along your journey until you are ready for this amazing state of healing. But thanks, guys, for being here. Set your alarm for next time. Invite your friends, and I'll see you next Tuesday. I love you guys. Have a great day.